In today's episode of Audit Austin Code Compliance, I'd like you to listen to the words of this man, John Christophe. He's an assistant division manager for the West team. What you're going to be listening to is an audio recording of a Civil Service Commission meeting. An assistant city attorney by the name of Jody is going to be asking John some questions, and we're going to challenge his statements and see exactly if an assistant division manager for the Austin Code Department really understands his role and the role of the ICC, or the International Code Council.
I want you to talk to the commissioners a little bit about the ICC, the International Code Council. We've heard some testimony about it, but what is the ICC?
The International Code Council they set the standard across the United States and everywhere. You know, you can take any certification from ICC and work in other countries with it as well. So that standard of understanding the processes for each one that they certify you in is applicable everywhere.
So you just heard Mr. Christophe tell the assistant city attorney, as well as the Civil Service Commission, that the International Code Council certifies people to work everywhere, in the United States and everywhere else. That's kind of like the World Series in baseball. We call it the World Series, but there are no teams coming from other parts of the world to play baseball. It is just the United States. Let's look at the International Code Council's website, and I'll prove my point. If you do an internet search for the International Code Council, you'll end up most likely here at their website. It's www.iccsafe.org. Let's go to their website and take a look and see what they do. Education, certification, there's a lot of stuff here. So just to be sure, now the International Code Council is a corporation. It's a business. It's there to make money. And so you go to their website and the International Code Adoptions. So you can choose a code like the building code, the fire code, the electrical code, the plumbing code. And so these folks publish the codes. They don't make them up, they publish the codes. They work with different folks and different things. But in the United States, use the International Building Code and some of the residential code and the fire code and the energy conservation code and things like that. International usage of the I codes. Okay, now John was saying it's used all over the world. It's used in the Caribbean. Haiti is using the 2009 for the basis of their thing. So they're using it as a sample, but they're not using it. Jamaica, Trinidad, Central America, out of all of Central America, Colombia, and Honduras. North America, Mexico. Doesn't say anything about Canada using the code. And in Eastern Europe, Georgia is using the 2006. The Middle East, Dubai, of course, they're building a bunch of things. They're using the I codes as the basis for their codes, but they're not using it strictly. And again, the IBC is used for the Saudi building code. Afghanistan and the United Nations. It's not being used in Italy. It's not being used in London. It's not being used in Russia. Very selected markets are using the international code. But yet, John Christophe would have you believe it is the answer to everybody's prayer. And it's just not the case. So this is John Christophe, and he's being interviewed by an assistant city attorney, and she's asking him about certifications. Now, the text here is that he is testifying in front of a Civil Service Commission meeting. He's under oath, and he's testifying about the importance of having a certification and what happens if you don't obtain the certification. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Besides the certifications, I mean, we've heard kind of before Director Smart took over there. Besides certifications, are education important as well?
Yeah, education is very important, and that's something that Director Smart also pushes.
But not just experience and having the certifications, but also becoming more educated as well.
Yes.
Are you aware of whether or not the department pays for these trainings or preparation courses for any of these certifications?
They do.
You know how many times they'll pay for you to take a test?
Say again?
You know how many times the department can pay for you to take a test?
Twice.
The department will pay for you to take a test not once but twice if you needed to do so.
Correct.
What is your understanding of the current standard from the director? Meaning, if you don't have the certification and you're trying to move to one of these other positions, or did move to one of those positions, what would be the result if you didn't end up getting the certification?
You would be demoted.
You would be demoted. This is very important because that's exactly what happened to John Christophe. He was bounced up to the position that he currently holds, jumping 2 ranks, and was giving multiple opportunities to pass the test and did not pass the test. Instead of being demoted, Carl Smart worked with him and he got a transfer out of code, a lateral transfer in the city, over to the transportation department. But he didn't stay there very long. He came right back to Austin Code and took the position that he is not qualified for. So you can go to the ICC's website and you can actually look and see if somebody has a certification. So let's do a quick test run here. Todd Wilcox, Wilcox, for the state of Texas. We're not going to put in any certification types and we're going to hit go. We'll see that Todd Wilcox of Austin, Texas has his ICC Property Maintenance and Housing Inspector certification and his Zoning Inspector certification. So we know it works. Another guy by the name of Michael Dial, Michael. Dial, Dial. Okay. Michael Dial of Texas. Again, no selection down here made. And again, we have Michael Dial of Leander. That's where he lives. And again, he's got his certifications. Now, let's go and check on John Christophe. John Chr. I've already looked at it before. Here's his name right here. Again, John Christophe of Texas. Nothing selected here. Go. No results. John Christophe is not certified with the International Code Council. John Christophe, while a nice enough guy, does not hold ICC certifications. Therefore, he is not qualified for the position that he holds. A lot of times through this interview process, he was asked about the importance of education, the importance of having an ICC. He agreed with it until it comes to his own salary. So the question remains, why is the city of Austin keeping somebody in a position that they're not qualified for? That's theft, isn't it? Giving your buddy a job, hoping that he can pass the test, and after he doesn't pass the test, get him a job someplace else, then sneak him back in and maybe reset the clock and go, oh, no. That was before his time starts all over again once we brought him back. If Austin Code is about education and having the best people in the position, why are we looking the other way in this case?